Your dreams are the most intimate expressions of who you are and who you aspire to be. They are the whispers of your soul, guiding you towards the life you're meant to live. But here's the thing about dreams: they are fragile, especially in their infancy. When you first conceive a dream, it's delicate, like a seed just planted in the soil. You wouldn't expose a young seedling to harsh weather before it has the chance to grow strong roots, would you? Similarly, you must protect your dreams, especially in the early stages when they are still vulnerable to the doubts and opinions of others. One of the greatest mistakes people make is sharing their dreams too early. You see, not everyone is going to understand your vision. In fact, most people won't. They are looking at life through their own lens of experience, shaped by their beliefs, limitations, and fears. When you share your dreams with them, they might project their own insecurities onto you, not out of malice, but because they simply cannot see what you see. They'll tell you it's impossible, impractical, or unrealistic, not because it is, but because it doesn't align with their worldview. This is where the danger lies. When you let these outside opinions in, they can plant seeds of doubt in your mind. And doubt is one of the most destructive forces when it comes to achieving your dreams. It doesn't take much to make you question your path, just a few negative comments, a few raised eyebrows, or a dismissive laugh. Suddenly, that vision that once seemed so clear and exciting starts to feel a little more distant, a little less possible. You start to wonder, what if they're right? What if I can't do this? What if I'm not capable? This is the subtle, yet profound impact of sharing your dreams too soon. Think about the moments when you've been most enthusiastic about something new in your life, a project, an idea, a goal. You felt energized, unstoppable, like nothing could get in your way. Now imagine sharing that excitement with someone who responds with indifference or skepticism. How does that make you feel? It's like someone just deflated your balloon. The air goes out and suddenly you're not soaring as high as you were before. This is why it's crucial to be selective about who you share your dreams with. Not everyone is worthy of hearing them. Not everyone will support you, and that's okay. It's not their job to believe in your dreams, it's yours. Now, this isn't to say that you should never share your dreams with anyone. The key is knowing when and with whom to share them. In the early stages, when your dream is still growing, keep it to yourself. Nurture it, work on it quietly, and build it up until it's strong enough to withstand the external pressures of the world. Once you've laid a solid foundation, then you can start sharing it with people you trust, those who will support you, encourage you, and believe in your potential. But even then, be mindful of how much you share and with whom. There's a certain power in keeping things to yourself. When you don't broadcast your dreams to the world, you maintain control over them. You can work on them without the distraction of outside opinions or judgments. You're free to experiment, make mistakes, and adjust your course as needed, all without the pressure of having to explain yourself to others. This is where true growth happens, in the quiet moments when you're working in the background, away from the spotlight. Another reason to protect your dreams is that they are deeply personal. They come from a place within you that is unique to your experiences, desires, and aspirations. When you share them with the wrong people, you risk diluting their essence. Your dream might start to shift to accommodate the expectations or limitations of others, and before you know it, you're no longer pursuing what you truly want, but what you think will be accepted by those around you. The truth is, not everyone will see your dream for what it is, a possibility waiting to be realized. Some people are stuck in their own limitations, and when they see someone else reaching for more, it makes them uncomfortable. They might feel threatened, or they might feel the need to pull you back down to their level, often unconsciously. This is why you must be discerning about who gets access to your vision. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who see the greatness within you, and who will encourage you to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Your dream is your responsibility. It's up to you to protect it, to nurture it, and to bring it to life. In the early stages, it needs your full attention and belief. It needs you to shield it from the noise and negativity of the outside world. You must build a fortress around it, not to isolate yourself, but to give your dream the space it needs to grow strong and unshakable. When you take this approach, something magical happens. Your belief in your dream becomes unbreakable. You no longer need validation from others because you've already validated it within yourself. And once your belief reaches that level of certainty, nothing and no one can stop you from achieving it. We live in a world that encourages vulnerability, a world that tells us to share our struggles openly with others. And while there is a time and place for seeking support, there's also immense wisdom in keeping your personal battles to yourself. When you constantly talk about your struggles, you're not just sharing your story, you're reinforcing it in your own mind. Every time you recount what's going wrong, every time you repeat the details of your challenges, you're giving more energy to those problems. You're focusing on what's not working, and what you focus on grows. Let's think about this for a moment. Imagine you're facing a difficult situation. Maybe it's a financial problem, a relationship issue, or a career setback. Naturally, you feel the weight of it. But when you start sharing that burden with everyone around you, something happens. The energy of that problem grows. You start to get advice, opinions, and input from all directions. Some of it may be helpful, but most of it is just noise. You end up feeling overwhelmed by all the different perspectives, and instead of finding solutions, you feel more stuck than ever. This is the paradox of oversharing. There's a reason why some of the most successful people in the world are also the most private. They've learned the power of silence. They understand that not every struggle needs to be broadcasted. When you keep your struggles to yourself, you maintain control over your narrative. You're not inviting others to define your situation for you. You're not letting their opinions shape how you see yourself or your challenges. Instead, you're preserving your energy, focusing it inward, and using it to find solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. When you talk about your struggles too often, especially to the wrong people, you start to identify with them. You begin to see yourself through the lens of your problems. You start to believe that you are your struggles. But the truth is, you are not your struggles. Your challenges are simply obstacles on the path to where you're going. They're temporary, but when you give them too much attention, you give them more power than they deserve. You start to build a narrative around them, and that narrative can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you talk about your struggles, the more they become ingrained in your identity, and the harder it becomes to break free from them. Another thing to consider is that not everyone has your best interests at heart. It's easy to assume that the people you confide in will offer support, but that's not always the case. Some people, even unconsciously, may take pleasure in your struggles. They may not want to see you rise above your challenges because it forces them to confront their own limitations. When you share your problems with them, you give them the power to shape your reality, often in ways that don't serve you. There's a subtle danger in constantly seeking validation or sympathy from others when you're going through tough times. It feels good in the moment someone listens, someone understands, but that feeling is temporary. It doesn't solve the underlying issue. In fact, it can create a dependency on external validation. You start to rely on others to make you feel better, rather than cultivating the strength within yourself to rise above your challenges. This is where true growth happens, not in the sharing of your struggles, but in the quiet internal process of overcoming them. When you keep your struggles private, you give yourself the space to process them without interference. You can take a step back, assess the situation objectively, and come up with solutions that resonate with you. You're not influenced by the noise of outside opinions, and you're not seeking approval or sympathy. You're focused on one thing: overcoming the challenge in front of you. This kind of focus is powerful. It's what allows you to move forward with clarity and determination, without being weighed down by the emotions or judgments of others. This doesn't mean you should never seek support. Of course, there are times when we need guidance, advice, or even just a listening ear. But the key is to be selective about when and with whom you share your struggles. Seek out people who will genuinely help you find solutions, not those who will simply commiserate with you or worse, feed into your doubts. And even then, be mindful of how much you share. You don't need to disclose every detail of what you're going through to get the support you need. The energy you put out into the world matters. When you talk about your struggles, you're sending out a signal that says, this is what I'm focused on right now in the universe, or life responds to that signal by giving you more of the same. If you're constantly talking about what's going wrong, you'll find yourself attracting more situations that reinforce that narrative. But when you choose to keep your struggles private, when you focus on solutions rather than problems, you shift the energy. You start attracting opportunities, ideas, and people that can help you overcome your challenges. There's also something to be said for the confidence that comes from handling your struggles on your own. When you stop relying on others for validation or support, you start to realize just how capable you are. You develop a sense of inner strength, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can face anything that comes your way. This is the kind of strength that can't be shaken by external circumstances because it comes from within. When you keep your struggles to yourself, you're not hiding from them, you're mastering them. You're taking control of your narrative, refusing to let outside forces dictate how you see yourself or your situation. You're focusing on what matters, finding a way through. Not staying stuck. Money is one of the most personal and sensitive aspects of our lives, yet it often becomes a topic of casual conversation, advice, or even judgment. However, there's a profound truth that many overlook. Your financial situation is something that should remain private. When you openly share the details of your finances, whether it's how much you earn, what you spend, or what you owe, you open the door to influences that can steer you off course. To truly manage your financial well-being, it's crucial to keep it to yourself, protecting not only your financial health but also your peace of mind. First, consider the emotional weight that money carries. For many, finances are tied directly to self-worth, success, and even identity. When you share your financial situation, you expose yourself to the judgments, opinions, and comparisons of others. Some people may envy your success, while others may pity your struggles, but in either case, their reactions can affect how you see yourself. If you're doing well financially and you share this with others, it can create feelings of resentment or jealousy, which in turn can strain relationships. On the other hand, if you're facing financial difficulties and share that openly, you may unintentionally invite pity or unsolicited advice that can make you feel worse about your situation. Money has a way of triggering strong reactions in people. When you disclose how much you make or how much you have saved, it can create an invisible divide between you and others. Suddenly, people may start viewing you differently, either as someone to admire or someone to look down upon. This shift in perception can alter the dynamics of your relationships in subtle but significant ways. People might begin to treat you based on what they know about your finances rather than who you are as a person. These shifts can create distance between you and those closest to you, or even attract opportunists who are more interested in your wealth than in you. Another reason to keep your finances private is that it helps you maintain control over your financial decisions. When you share details about your money with others, even well-meaning friends or family, you open yourself up to a flood of opinions. Everyone seems to have their own ideas about how money should be managed, and once they know your situation, they won't hesitate to offer advice whether or not you've asked for it. This can lead to confusion and second-guessing. You might start to question your own financial choices because of the opinions of others, even when those opinions are not based on your unique circumstances or long-term goals. Consider this: you've been working hard, saving diligently, and have finally accumulated a decent sum of money. You're proud of what you've achieved, but the moment you share that success, you may find yourself bombarded with unsolicited advice. People may tell you how you should invest, what you should spend it on, or even suggest that you're not doing enough. Suddenly, your financial success becomes a source of stress because now you're managing not just your money, but the expectations and opinions of others. Furthermore, sharing your financial situation can create unnecessary pressure to live up to the image others have of you. If people know you're earning a significant income, they may expect you to spend in ways that reflect that. You might feel pressured to maintain a certain lifestyle, buy certain things, or take part in activities that align with what they think you can afford. This can push you into spending beyond your means or making financial decisions that don't align with your goals, all to meet someone else's expectations. On the flip side, if you're struggling financially and you share that with others, you can end up feeling embarrassed or ashamed. The pressure doesn't just come from external judgments, it can also come from within. You may feel the need to defend or explain your situation, and this can drain your energy and focus away from finding solutions. Instead of working on improving your financial standing, you're caught up in the emotional weight of what others think about your situation. Another vital aspect of financial privacy is protecting yourself from envy and resentment. Money has a way of stirring emotions in people, and when others know too much about your financial situation, it can lead to jealousy even among those you consider friends or family. If people perceive you as having more than them, it can create an unspoken tension. This tension may not always be expressed openly, but it can subtly change how people interact with you. They may start to resent you even if they don't realize it, and this can erode trust and connection in relationships that were once solid. Additionally, sharing your financial details can attract unwanted attention from those who may not have your best interests at heart. Opportunistic individuals might seek to take advantage of your perceived wealth, whether by asking for loans, favors, or expecting you to cover costs in social settings. Once people know how much you make or have, they may start to expect more from you financially, which can put you in awkward situations. It's much easier to avoid these situations by keeping your financial information private, allowing you to make decisions based on your own values and priorities, rather than the expectations of others. Another critical reason to guard your financial privacy is that it allows you to focus on your personal goals without external distractions. When you keep your financial situation private, you can set and pursue goals that are meaningful to you without being influenced by what others think you should be doing. You can invest, save, or spend in ways that align with your long-term vision without feeling the need to justify your choices to anyone else. This sense of autonomy is crucial for building true financial independence and security. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it should be used thoughtfully and with intention. When you keep your financial situation private, you give yourself the freedom to use that tool in the way that best serves you, without the weight of external opinions, judgments, or expectations. You can make decisions based on your own priorities and values, rather than feeling the need to conform to what others believe is right for you. This privacy empowers you to stay focused on your goals, maintain your peace of mind, and build the kind of financial future that truly aligns with your vision for your life. Negative feelings are a natural part of the human experience. We all go through moments of frustration, anger, sadness, or jealousy at some point in our lives. These emotions can be powerful and overwhelming, but how we manage them determines whether they control us or whether we maintain control over our lives. One of the most important lessons you can learn is the value of not reacting immediately to negative emotio. NS. When you share your emotional state impulsively with others, especially in the heat of the moment, you often end up regretting it. Emotions are fleeting, but the consequences of acting on them impulsively can be long-lasting. Negative emotions like anger or jealousy can distort your thinking. When you're caught in the grip of these emotions, you're not seeing things as they are, you're seeing them through a filter of frustration, fear, or resentment. This makes it easy to make rash decisions or say things that you don't truly mean. The problem is that once those words are out, or once you've taken an action in anger, you can't take them back. The damage can be done before you even realize it. This is why it's essential to practice self-discipline when it comes to your emotions. Not every feeling needs to be expressed or shared immediately. When you share your negative emotions impulsively with others, you not only risk damaging relationships, but you also give away your power. Think about it: when you react emotionally and share those feelings with someone else, you're placing your emotional state in their hands. You're allowing them to have control over how you feel and how you respond. This might lead to situations where others manipulate your emotions or take advantage of your vulnerability. The more you let others into your emotional world when you're at your weakest, the more you risk being influenced in ways that don't serve your best interests. Instead, there is tremendous value in holding back, in taking a step back when negative emotions arise. Giving yourself time to process your feelings allows you to regain clarity and perspective. When you're in the middle of a strong emotional reaction, it can feel like that emotion is everything. But emotions are temporary. They rise and fall like waves. If you can learn to ride the wave without reacting, you'll find that the intensity subsides and you can think more clearly. In those moments of clarity, you can decide whether it's even necessary to share what you're feeling, and if it is, how to do so in a way that is constructive rather than destructive. Another important aspect of controlling your emotions is understanding that not everyone is equipped to handle your emotional outbursts. Some people may not have the capacity to listen to you in a way that helps, or they may add fuel to the fire by validating your negative feelings instead of helping you move through them. When you vent your negative emotions to the wrong person, you may feel temporarily relieved, but you often end up reinforcing the negativity. The person you're sharing with might sympathize with your anger or frustration, which can make you feel justified in holding on to those feelings. However, this doesn't help you move forward. It keeps you stuck in the same emotional loop. Learning to control how and when you express your emotions is about more than just maintaining your composure. It's about building emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges and setbacks without being overwhelmed by negative emotions. When you're constantly reacting to everything that bothers you, you drain your energy and limit your ability to focus on solutions. On the other hand, when you learn to pause and reflect before reacting, you cultivate the strength to handle adversity without letting it consume you. Part of building this emotional resilience involves developing self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional control. It's about recognizing when you're starting to feel negative emotions rise and understanding what triggers them. When you can identify your emotional triggers, you gain the ability to anticipate and manage your reactions before they escalate. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. By practicing self-awareness, you become better at choosing how you respond to situations, rather than being controlled by your immediate emotional reactions. Another key to overcoming negative feelings is to shift your focus. When you're caught in a negative emotional state, it's easy to become consumed by what's going wrong or what's upsetting you. But staying in that mindset only deepens your negative emotions. The more you focus on the problem, the bigger it feels. The solution lies in redirecting your focus. Instead of dwelling on the negative, ask yourself what you can do to change the situation or improve your mood. This shift in perspective can be as simple as focusing on what you're grateful for, even in difficult times. Gratitude has a powerful way of neutralizing negative emotions because it forces you to look at the positives in your life rather than the negatives. In moments of emotional intensity, silence can be your greatest ally. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing, just breathe, take a step back, and let the moment pass. Silence gives you the space to reflect, to gather your thoughts, and to regain your composure. It's not about bottling up your emotions or pretending they don't exist, but rather about giving yourself the time you need to approach the situation with a clear head. When you react out of silence, you act from a place of strength, not weakness. You're no longer at the mercy of your emotions, but instead you're in control of how you want to handle them. Taking control of your emotions also empowers you in your relationships. People respect those who can maintain their composure even in challenging situations. When you're able to stay calm and composed, you create an atmosphere of trust and stability. Others will feel more comfortable approaching you, knowing that you won't react impulsively or lash out when things get tough. This makes you a more effective communicator, a better leader, and a stronger partner in both personal and professional relationships. Ultimately, learning to control and manage your negative emotions is a skill that benefits every aspect of your life. It allows you to navigate challenges with grace, to build deeper and more meaningful relationships, and to maintain your peace of mind even in the face of adversity. Emotions will always be part of the human experience, but mastering how you respond to them is what sets you apart and gives you the power to shape your life on your own terms. One of the greatest lessons in life is the understanding that not everyone will align with your dreams and ambitions. Your dreams are deeply personal, and often they are the result of years of thought, experience, and a vision for the future that only you can truly comprehend. The mistake that many people make is believing that others will automatically understand or support their dreams just because they share them. But the truth is, not everyone has the capacity to see what you see. And when you share your dreams prematurely or with the wrong people, you open yourself up to doubt, criticism, and discouragement. When you share your dreams with others, especially in the early stages, you're sharing something fragile. Dreams are born in your mind and heart, and in the beginning they are delicate. They require nurturing, focus, and belief to grow. Sharing them too soon can expose them to negative energy, skepticism, or even jealousy from those who can't see the potential you see. It's not that people are always intentionally harmful, but often their limited perspectives can cause them to project their own fears and limitations onto your dreams. Imagine you have a bold vision for your future. Maybe it's starting your own business, pursuing a creative passion, or taking a life-changing risk. If you share that dream with someone who is stuck in their own fears or who has never taken a risk themselves, they may respond with doubt or negativity. They might say things like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or "What if it doesn't work out?" Or even, "That's impossible," while they might believe they're being helpful by pointing out potential obstacles. What they're really doing is projecting their own fears onto you. And if you're not careful, those words of doubt can take root in your mind, making you question your vision. The truth is, most people are conditioned to think small. Society teaches us to stay within certain boundaries, to follow the safe path, and to avoid taking risks. So when you share a dream that goes beyond the norm, it can make people uncomfortable. They may not understand why you want to break away from the status quo, and in their discomfort, they may try to bring you back down to their level of thinking. This is why it's so important to protect your dreams from the outset. They need time to develop and grow without being tainted by the doubts or fears of others. Another reason to keep your dreams private is that sharing them too soon can create unnecessary pressure. When you tell people about your big plans before they're fully realized, you create expectations. Now, people are watching, waiting to see if you'll succeed or fail. This external pressure can be distracting and can make you feel like you need to live up to other people's timelines or standards. It's much easier to stay focused on your path when you don't feel the need to constantly explain or justify your progress to others. There's also something powerful about working in silence. When you're quietly pursuing your dreams without broadcasting them to the world, you're free from the noise of external opinions. You're able to put all of your energy into the work itself, rather than into defending or explaining your vision. This creates a sense of internal power and momentum. You're not seeking approval or validation from others. You're simply doing what you know you need to do to bring your dream to life. And often this quiet focus leads to success far faster than if you were constantly seeking input or feedback from others. In addition, when you share your dreams with the wrong people, you risk opening yourself up to jealousy and competition. Not everyone will be happy for your success. In fact, some people may actively try to undermine you, especially if they feel threatened by your ambition. When you're pursuing a dream that is bigger than what others around you are doing, it can trigger their insecurities. Instead of supporting you, they may try to downplay your efforts or even sabotage your progress. This is why it's crucial to be selective about who you share your dreams with. Only share your vision with people who you know will uplift and encourage you, and even then, be mindful of how much you disclose. Protecting your dreams also helps you stay grounded and realistic about the work that needs to be done. When you talk too much about your dreams without taking action, it can create a false sense of accomplishment. You might start to feel like you're making progress just because you're talking about it, when in reality, nothing has changed. By keeping your dreams to yourself, you're forced to focus on the actual steps needed to turn those dreams into reality. You're less likely to get caught up in the excitement of the idea and more likely to stay committed to the hard work that's required to bring it to fruition. It's important to remember that dreams evolve over time. What starts as one vision may shift and change as you gain more experience and insight. When you share your dreams too early, you might lock yourself into a particular version of the dream that doesn't allow for growth or adaptation. By keeping your dreams private, you give yourself the freedom to change course if needed without worrying about what others might think. You're able to stay flexible and responsive to new opportunities and challenges, which is essential for long-term success. Ultimately, your dreams are yours for a reason. They are an expression of your unique vision, your talents, and your desires. Not everyone will understand them, and that's okay. It's not their job to understand they're not living your life. But it is your job to protect your dreams from negativity, doubt, and unnecessary pressure. It's your responsibility to nurture them, to believe in them, and to work towards them with quiet determination. When the time is right, when your dreams have grown strong and stable, you can share them with the world. But until then, guard them like a precious seed. Give them the time and space they need to grow, without the interference of outside opinions. Trust that you have everything you need within you to make your dreams a reality, and that by keeping them close, you're protecting the most important part of your future, the part that only you can see. Your goals, like your dreams, are deeply personal and unique to you. They represent your desires, ambitions, and vision for your life, and the journey to achieve them is one that requires focus, discipline, and perseverance. However, sharing your goals with others can sometimes hinder your progress rather than help it. While it may seem natural to discuss your goals with friends, family, or colleagues, doing so can invite external influences that may weaken your resolve or distract you from the work needed to accomplish them. When you share your goals with others, you open the door to their opinions, advice, and feedback. While some of this feedback may be well-intentioned, not all of it will be helpful or relevant. Everyone has their own perspective on what success looks like, and their opinions are often shaped by their own experiences, fears, and limitations. This means that when you share your goals, you might receive feedback that reflects other people's doubts and insecurities rather than constructive advice. These doubts can be contagious, even if you're confident in your path. Hearing phrases like, "That sounds difficult," or "Are you sure that's realistic?" can plant seeds of uncertainty in your mind, causing you to second-guess your decisions and question whether you're capable of achieving what you set out to do. Additionally, sharing your goals too early can create a false sense of accomplishment. There's a psychological phenomenon known as premature self-congratulation, where the act of talking about your goals gives you a temporary feeling of satisfaction, as though you've already made progress. This sense of achievement can diminish your motivation to take real action because your brain feels rewarded simply by verbalizing your goals. Instead of focusing on the hard work required to achieve them, you may find yourself getting caught up in discussions, explanations, and justifications. You talk about the goal, but you're not actually doing the work to reach it. Another important reason to keep your goals private is that it protects you from the expectations of others. When you share your goals with people, you inadvertently invite them to monitor your progress. They may start asking you for updates, checking in on how things are going, and offering unsolicited advice along the way. This can create pressure to perform in a way that satisfies their expectations, rather than focusing on what truly matters to you. Instead of staying connected to your own internal motivation, you may find yourself working to avoid disappointing others or to prove something to them. This external pressure can be distracting and draining, making it harder to stay focused on your own path. Moreover, when you share your goals with others, you risk inviting jealousy or envy, even from people who care about you. While it may not always be intentional, people can sometimes feel threatened by your ambition or the possibility of your success. This can lead to subtle or not so subtle attempts to undermine your progress. They may question your choices, express skepticism about your ability to succeed, or offer advice that is designed to keep you playing small. Even if they aren't consciously trying to hold you back, their doubts can create a negative environment that makes it harder for you to stay committed to your goals. There's also the issue of overexposure. When you share your goals too openly, you expose yourself to the scrutiny of a wider audience. The more people who know about your goals, the more people you feel accountable to. While accountability can be helpful in some cases, being accountable to too many people can become overwhelming. You may start to feel like you have to justify every decision, explain every setback, and constantly prove that you're making progress. This can take the joy and freedom out of the process, turning your pursuit of personal growth into a performance for others. Protecting your goals from external influences allows you to stay connected to your why, the deeper reason behind what you're trying to achieve. When your goals remain private, you're able to stay focused on what matters most to you, without being swayed by the opinions, expectations, or judgments of others. You have the freedom to pursue your goals in a way that aligns with your values, your timeline, and your unique vision for success. This internal focus is crucial because it allows you to cultivate a sense of personal responsibility and ownership over your progress. Another benefit of keeping your goals private is that it fosters a quiet, determined work ethic. Instead of talking about what you're going to do, you're putting in the work to make it happen. This approach builds momentum and self-discipline because you're focused on the process, not the outcome. The satisfaction comes not from external validation, but from knowing that you're taking steps toward your goals every day. This kind of discipline is essential for long-term success because it's rooted in intrinsic motivation, doing the work because it's meaningful to you, not because you're trying to impress others. When your goals are private, you also have the flexibility to adapt and adjust as needed. Sometimes as you work toward a goal, you realize that your original plan needs to change. You may discover new opportunities or face unexpected challenges that require you to shift your approach. When you've shared your goals publicly, it can be difficult to make these changes without feeling like you're letting people down or going back on your word. But when your goals are private, you're free to pivot as necessary without the added pressure of explaining your decisions to others. This flexibility is key to maintaining resilience and staying on track, even when things don't go according to plan. It's also worth considering that not all goals are meant to be shared with others. Some goals are deeply personal, and sharing them prematurely can dilute their significance. Certain aspirations are tied to your innermost desires and values, and discussing them with others before they've fully taken shape can diminish their importance. When you keep these goals to yourself, you give them the space and respect they deserve to grow and evolve without interference. You protect their sacredness, allowing them to unfold in their own time. Ultimately, your goals are a reflection of who you are and who you aspire to become. They represent your personal vision for your life, and achieving them requires focus, discipline, and perseverance. By keeping your goals private, you shield yourself from the noise of external opinions, doubts, and pressures. You preserve your energy for the work that truly matters, and you maintain the freedom to pursue your goals in a way that aligns with your unique path. Sharing your personal struggles with others may seem like a natural way to seek support and understanding, but in reality, it can often do more harm than good. When you're in the midst of a struggle, whether it's emotional, financial, or related to your health or relationships, you're in a vulnerable state. This vulnerability can open you up to judgment, pity, or unsolicited advice that may not be helpful. It can also shift the dynamic in your relationships, placing you in a position of perceived weakness. While it's important to have trusted people you can turn to for support, it's equally important to be selective about what, when, and how much you share about your personal struggles. First, it's important to recognize that not everyone is equipped to handle the weight of your struggles. Many people simply lack the emotional maturity or capacity to provide the kind of support you need when you're going through something difficult. They may offer well-meaning but misguided advice, or worse, they may respond with indifference or judgment. Sharing your personal struggles with people who are not prepared to listen or respond in a compassionate and constructive way can leave you feeling more isolated or misunderstood than before. This is why it's crucial to be discerning about who you choose to confide in during challenging times. Another reason to keep your personal struggles private is that sharing them can sometimes backfire. In the moment, you might feel the urge to vent or unburden yourself to someone, thinking that doing so will bring relief. However, once the emotions of the moment have passed, you may regret having revealed so much about your situation. There's a fine line between seeking support and oversharing, and once you've shared certain personal details, you can't take them back. The people you share with may form opinions or judgments about you based on what you've told them, and those opinions can affect how they see you moving forward. When you share your struggles, especially when they are deeply personal, you also run the risk of being pitied. While some people might respond with genuine concern, others may see your struggles as a sign of weakness and treat you accordingly. Pity can be disempowering because it places you in a position of needing help or sympathy, rather than being seen as strong and capable of overcoming challenges. Being pitied can undermine your sense of self-worth and make it harder for you to regain your confidence. It can also shift the dynamics in your relationships, where others might start to view you as someone who constantly needs rescuing, rather than as an equal. Furthermore, sharing your struggles with others can create a sense of dependency on external validation or reassurance. When you open up about your difficulties, you may subconsciously seek approval or validation from those you share with, hoping they'll confirm that you're handling things the right way, or that your feelings are justified. While it's natural to want reassurance in tough times, relying on others for this can weaken your inner resilience. Instead of turning outward for comfort or approval, learning to rely on your own inner strength is key to building emotional resilience. When you learn to process and overcome struggles on your own terms, you develop a stronger sense of self-reliance and confidence in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. There's also the risk that sharing your struggles with others can make you more vulnerable to gossip or unwanted attention. Not everyone you confide in will respect your privacy or handle your personal information with care. People talk, and sometimes the details of your struggles can spread to others without your consent. This can lead to misunderstandings, distorted perceptions of your situation, or even rumors that can harm your reputation. Once private details about your struggles are out in the open, you lose control over how your story is shared and interpreted. This can create additional stress and anxiety, adding to the burden of the original struggle. Keeping your personal struggles private also allows you the space to process them in your own time and in your own way. When you're constantly sharing your difficulties with others, you might feel pressured to have answers or solutions before you're ready. You may feel the need to explain your situation or justify your feelings to those around you, even when you're still trying to make sense of things yourself. By keeping your struggles to yourself, you give yourself the time and freedom to reflect, understand, and work through your challenges without the added pressure of external opinions or timelines. In addition, struggles are often temporary, and sharing them prematurely can give them more weight and permanence than they deserve. When you talk about your problems too much, they can begin to define you. You start to see yourself through the lens of your struggles, which can make it harder to move past them. By keeping your struggles private, you maintain the perspective that these challenges are just a part of your life, not the entirety of it. You're able to focus on finding solutions and moving forward, rather than becoming bogged down by the narrative of the struggle itself. It's also important to remember that everyone is going through their own battles. Sharing your struggles with others may inadvertently place a burden on them, especially if they're dealing with their own challenges. While they may want to help, they might not have the emotional capacity to take on your struggles in addition to their own. By keeping your struggles private, you allow others the space to focus on their own lives without adding extra emotional weight. You can still seek support when needed, but it's important to be mindful of the emotional toll your struggles may have on others. Maintaining privacy around your struggles also empowers you to shape your own narrative. When you share too much with others, you give them the power to influence how you see yourself and your situation. But when you keep your struggles to yourself, you remain the author of your own story. You get to decide how to frame your challenges, how to interpret them, and how to use them as fuel for personal growth. This sense of ownership over your story is crucial for developing resilience and self-confidence. While it's important to acknowledge and address your struggles, not every challenge needs to be shared with the world. There is a strength that comes from facing difficulties privately, from quietly doing the inner work to overcome obstacles without needing validation or reassurance from others. This doesn't mean that you should isolate yourself or never seek help when needed, but it does mean that you should be intentional about how much you share and with whom. By keeping certain struggles private, you retain your power, protect your peace, and create a space for personal growth that is free from external influence. Your personal struggles are a part of your journey, but they do not define you. How you choose to navigate them, whether quietly or with the support of a select few, will shape your character and your resilience. By guarding your struggles and processing them internally, you give yourself the opportunity to emerge stronger, wiser, and more self-assured on the other side.